Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. This video includes paid promotion. So guys, how are you feeling about Bitcoin price? How are you feeling about the 4-year cycle right now and how altcoins are still following Bitcoin? Do you still think we're in a super cycle? Do you still think we're going to see a decoupling in 2026? If you take a look at the Bitcoin chart today, you can see a very, very weak indication that we're going to continue moving up. This is forming what is looking like a very straightforward bullish pennant pattern. And guys, it is moving on low volume. So if you just kind of take a look at where we were when we were dumping, to that new low for Bitcoin down in there, you guys can see the high volume in there. Well, as we're moving up, of course, forming this bearish pennant pattern, and you guys can see compared to the volume that we saw from back when Bitcoin was dumping at the end of May and at the beginning of June, volume today is nowhere near where it was when we were seeing those new lows. So this is a good indication that, Bitcoin price likely going to continue to decline in the summer. I mean, that's a controversial opinion, I think. Bank XRP noticing this, though, on the XRP chart. Now, I don't personally use this indicator, but he's asking, can anyone explain this chart for me for XRP specifically? So the XRP weekly just lost the Ichimoku cloud. Okay, so that's the indicator. The Ichimoku cloud is down 3.46%, sitting at $1.14. Both trend lines are rolling over. This is the Ichimoku cloud, guys, and this is the weekly chart here for XRP. As you guys can see, there are several different indicators on this chart. I had to actually look this up just to make sure I knew exactly what this was. So the Ichimoku cloud is a comprehensive technical analysis indicator used to identify trend patterns, gauge momentum, and pinpoint support and resistance zones. Its name roughly translates to one look equilibrium chart, and there are 5 key components to the chart. So the conversion line, this is the average of the highest high and lowest low over the last 9 periods. The baseline is the average of the highest high and the lowest low over the last 26 periods. Leading span, that's the average of the conversion line and baseline. This line is plotted 26 periods into the future and acts as the first boundary to the cloud. The leading span B. So this sounds very complicated in terms of, I guess the indicators that I use several indicators that can gauge similar trend structures, but I guess this is just one indicator that does it all. The average of the highest high and the lowest low over the past 52 periods. And then we got the lagging span, the current closing price plotted 26 periods behind the price action. It helps traders gauge current market sentiment compared to the past prices. Wow. Just going to interrupt this video for a second. Here's a word from one of today's video sponsors. Guys, I want to briefly talk about a long-running partner of mine, FortisX. I've been following this project for quite some time, and what stands out is that they are consistently growing. While many platforms come and go, FortisX continues to improve its infrastructure, expand its ecosystem, and strengthen security. The platform has built a solid reputation within the crypto community, receives positive feedback from users, and has completed independent audits with Certic and Cyberscope. They also utilize Fireblocks infrastructure trusted by many institutional players across the industry. What I like most is that the team focuses on long-term development rather than hype. They keep building, improving, and earning trust over time. If you'd like to learn more, check out the link in the description of the video. Remember, guys, investing is inherently risky. Always diversify your investments. This is not financial advice. We've got Ripple Bullwinkle giving his 2 cents on this particular XRP chart. The big spike looks more like a short covering rally or news pump that is being fully retraced rather than the start of a sustained uptrend. I think at the end of the day, what we do have to realize is that XRP is not in a sustained uptrend at the moment either. XRP is still just following Bitcoin. We are seeing that same trend pattern, although XRP did climb a little bit higher. XRP overall, guys, is a more volatile cryptocurrency, so it makes sense for the numbers to pop a little more and then dump a little harder once we do see a downtrend. But at the end of the day, we are still seeing this bearish pennant pattern here on the XRP chart. So, we have sentiment that hasn't moved too much. We're still at 22. Market cap is up by a little bit today, but overall, we're seeing a pretty quiet day in the market. We're not seeing a lot of movement. As you can see, there's a lot of red and a lot of green on the chart. Maybe a little bit more red than there is green, but at the end of the day, what this indicates, not a lot of trading activity. So this is what we are to expect, I think, moving into the summer. And probably, as far as I'm concerned, I think we're going to see more downward momentum for Bitcoin, especially, and then that's going to translate into the rest of the altcoin market. Again, you guys can always follow what I'm doing at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. This is where I'm essentially giving a play-by-play step to all my Patreon subscribers of exactly what I'm doing. So the subscription is only $5 a month if you're interested in joining. Notice too that time could be running out to get clarity on its way. Bull Theory here posting this. So the Senate is holding emergency meetings next week to save crypto regulation before time runs out. Emergency meetings, it's not a good sign, but maybe it's necessary. It is the 11th hour sprint of meetings to finalize the Clarity Act before the Senate's window does close. If they miss this window, the next real chance may not come until 2030. What that means, guys, no federal rules for crypto, no clear path for institutional money, no legal classification for Bitcoin or stablecoins or other tokens. This is all being decided in the next few days. Two deals already collapsed last week. One on the ethics rules for officials holding crypto, one on law enforcement provision called Section 604. And the bill still needs 60 votes, House approval, and a presidential signature, all before the Senate leaves for August recess. So guys, this is where we're at in the short term, in the immediate term. I mean, at least we have, Hester Peirce here explains it. She has confirmed that, first of all, she is leaving the SEC very soon, but that they are also working on, they're still working on crypto legislation and making sure that rules for crypto do move forward. She does say in this clip that it's going to happen without her. Listen to this.
I think one of the most exciting projects we're working on is thinking about how we can make it more likely that more companies will go public earlier in their lives. And so that's a project that has many different pieces to it, but that's something we're working on. Just yesterday, we proposed a rule that would eliminate the rule 611, which is the trade-through rule in equity markets, and that is a 20-year-old rule that I think was really ripe for reconsideration. So I'm excited about that. There's obviously a lot going on the crypto side, some of it within the SEC, some of it outside. I mean, I'm excited to see Clarity move forward, and I think that will give us a lot of work to do. I won't be here to do it, so maybe that's why I'm excited about it. But I think it will be quite helpful for the industry to have this legislative framework within which we and the CFTC are writing rules.
So Hester Peirce in this clip, clearly happy that the rules are coming and that the work is going to be on somebody's plate, but thankfully she's essentially saying not her plate. Here we go, guys. Another one from Mike Higgins. Looking forward to joining Monday. We'll have plenty to cover on Ripple Prime and RLUSD. So Mike Higgins, guys, he was from Hidden Road originally, and now he's going to be talking to Jacqueline Melinek on token relations. So this is happening tomorrow, actually, if you guys are watching this video on the day that I'm releasing it. So tomorrow, June the 22nd at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for their quarterly Ripple ecosystem webinar with Mike Higgins. We'll be deep diving into Ripple Prime, where RLUSD fits into the Prime strategy and the business's broader institutional stack. So keep an eye out for that if you guys are interested in the updates regarding the institutional adoption with Ripple Prime. Now, this is an older clip from the winter, but I wanted to bring it to you guys. Odelia Tortman explains why the XRP ledger is the best bet, why XRP is a bet on infrastructure in the future. This moves into what I'm going to be talking about next, but I wanted to show you guys this clip first. Listen to this.
What does this mean for XRP holders? Do you think it's like a bet on XRP is a bet on this infrastructure for the future?
I think that, first of all, the important thing to remember is that the XRP ledger is an L1 decentralized protocol, where the XRP is the bridge currency to complete a lot of the transaction and a lot of the settlements that are taking place on it. So it's kind of like, before you look at it, one way to look at it obviously is an asset to hold, but from the other side, it is an extremely essential functional pillar within the wider XRPL ecosystem and with the ever-increasing list of use cases, products, and offerings that are being developed for the financial service world.
So basically, a bet on XRP is a bet on the infrastructure and the future of the infrastructure, of the financial system. Zave Crypto here bringing this up too. The XRP ledger just overtook Ethereum and Ondo's OUSG Treasury Fund. 259.6 million now sits on the XRP ledger. So we're starting to see the evolution of the XRP ledger and how it's evolving, how it's becoming more important. So he does point out here, Biddle, Franklin Templeton, Wisdom Tree, Fidelity, and Wellington. This is all money. This is all real money, guys. Choosing the XRP choosing the XRP ledger as the rail and the XRP token as the cryptocurrency of choice. So he did post a little video here. I'm just going to kind of scrub through it. So this is Ondo's short-term U.S. government bonds. The portfolio primarily holds BlackRock's Biddle Fund along with allocations from those other hedge fund managers, Franklin Templeton, Wisdom Tree, Fidelity, so on and so forth. So I'm just going to scrub through, like I said here, and he's just going to show you how much is actually tokenized on the XRP ledger here. You guys can see over here the pie chart, market cap by network. And just looking at the XRP ledger, we're at $259.6 million. You compare that to other networks here. The XRP ledger actually does have the most in terms of token supply and circulating supply. Let me just go scrub through here a little bit. So it's just showing you guys over 25% in the last 30 days. In terms of hodlers, yes, Ethereum did break that record, but in terms of token supply and circulating supply and bridged supply, the XRP ledger is still number one in the space. So in essence, right, we're talking about institutionalizing the money. We're talking about these big financial institutions. We're talking about tokenization. We're talking about who is choosing which ledger and which ledger is thriving compared to the next biggest ledger. Ethereum, you know, another big player in this space, and we're seeing the big players choosing the XRP ledger. So just going back to this, just going back to this Odelia Tortman clip here. They're betting on XRP, the financial future, the infrastructure. It is definitely going to be one of the big players. So make sure you guys are holding your XRP somewhere safe. There has been another scam alert. For those of you guys self-custodying, always be careful for those, if you're holding your own XRP, be careful of those Chrome extensions that sometimes get added to your Chrome browser there. A lot of those things are scams, especially if they are crypto related. So do not, the big thing is if you are self-custodying, use the official links from the official websites. I personally use the ledger NANO. I do have an affiliate link in the description of every video I do. You can use my affiliate if you guys are looking for a self-custody solution. Here is a scam alert, though, that Bank XRP did just want to bring to our attention. Another XRP holder just lost about 14,000 XRP. That's about $16,800 to a payment request hack. The bait. 10% monthly rewards plus a memo that read safe XRPL verify messages. So they're going to send you all kinds of messages. The thing is, anybody can write memo messages over the XRP ledger. So ignore all that stuff. Nobody's going to ask you for your private keys. Nobody's going to ask you for any of that. Just be mindful, guys. So just wanted to bring that to your attention as a public service announcement. Also wanted to bring this to your attention. So this is interesting. XRP notes a 17% surge in its burn rate as its network continues to strengthen despite the broader market weakness. This courtesy of Michael Branch. Is this flashing signs of a potential recovery? So amid the inconsistent crypto market movements, XRP remains one of the most closely watched crypto assets as it continues to garner attention amongst both retail and institutional investors. While the market has continued to show weakness, a recent spike in XRP network activity has drawn attention from traders as the asset's price remains uncertain. I mean, when they say that, it's to kind of drum up tension. I don't think the price is uncertain. I think, like I keep saying, we're trading in a spec market until we're not. So it is following Bitcoin at the moment. XRP burn rate has jumped to 17% though on Saturday. So that was just yesterday. If you guys are watching this video on the day that I'm releasing it, crypto analytics platform CryptoQuant released data revealing that the amount of XRP burnt as fees has increased from 361 XRP to 425 XRP in just one day. This marks a 17.7, so almost 18% surge in XRP burn activity despite the weak market move. And that has pulled the prices back from the major crypto assets. So we are seeing an increased burn rate for XRP, guys. That means more activity is occurring on the XRP ledger. So that's all good when we're, when we're talking about real utility, when we're talking about more demand driven to the XRP ledger. More XRP being burnt essentially means, technically it means that the XRP cryptocurrency is scarcer. Although the XRP burn activity does not directly impact the price at the moment, it does provide subtle insights into the asset's potential price performance as it does represent growing transactional volume and increased usage on the network. So, like I say, network is being utilized. We've been we're actually seeing it in real time here from this screen grab from Zafe Crypto. We're also from months ago. We're betting on XRP as this institutional bridge for real world adoption. And then, guys, we have this coming soon. So MoonPay is a confirmed Ripple partner, and Caroline D. Pham acting acting commissioner at the CFTC from a few years ago. She's now working at MoonPay, by the way. She's now saying $28 trillion in stablecoin volume in Q1. That is huge. So we're seeing the volume now starting to build. She was just interviewed by Scott Melker from the Wolf of Wall Street. Listen to this.
Even just in Q1 of 2026, we've had 28 trillion in volume in stablecoins. Oh, no, this is one quarter.
The crypto industry has, let me put this way, the crypto industry has a long history of own goals.
Yeah.
We are the masters of shooting ourselves in the foot.
Yeah. There's two things that I feel like the industry would really help themselves a lot if they maybe recalibrated or reframed the narrative. This idea that DeFi is incompatible with KYC and AML is just a fallacy.
Right.
I think it would be better if instead of saying, oh, we're going to disrupt this, we're going to blow everything up and create a whole brand new financial system. Banking and markets have been around for like hundreds, thousands of years. We're not really going to blow everything up and start all over again. So if we actually just looked at this as modernization, why is this so different from going from paper to computers to now blockchain, which is really just decentralized computing anyway? I came out on like January 2nd or January 3rd, and I said 2026 is going to be the year of institutional adoption. It's like, Caroline, why are you saying that? Because I've been working on it since 2018.
Actually, it's interesting. It's almost like the industry has 2.5 years to become too big to fail.
When you have institutional adoption coming in, we're talking like not just millions, not just billions, not just trillions, maybe quadrillions. You can't put that genie back in the bottle. Blockchain technology is not going away. Stablecoins are not going away. Bitcoin as an asset class is not going away. If you have a Bitcoin in every brokerage account, you can't undo that.
So you guys can see it there. The full podcast is coming out soon. The Wolf of Wall Street's podcast interviewing Caroline D. Pham. So she's breaking down DeFi, how that's going to work. And, it's a bit of an excuse, I think, from traditional financial players saying how, oh, well, we can't have cryptocurrencies because you can't KYC, you can't AML. Well, Caroline D. Pham explains this is just a progression in modernization, and that makes a lot of sense, right? We went from paper trading to computers, and now blockchain is essentially just a supercomputer. It's a computer evolved. So all the excuses, kind of just that, excuses. So I'm curious to see, guys, where this is going to go. She did separately just retweet this out. Did you hear me say quadrillion? So, guys, Caroline D. Pham doubling down on that prediction. Quadrillions of dollars in the market. And we're just at the beginning here. We are, we're purchasing up our positions as we speak. Maybe you guys are hodling for the long term. As you guys can see from these charts, XRP is still moving in spec. It's moving with the speculative market. It's moving alongside Bitcoin. I'm looking to cost average down my positions. You guys can always follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel if you're interested. If you're still hodling, maybe you're round tripping. I'm also partnered with FortisX. Maybe you want to check them out. You can find all those links in the description of the video. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.